Noob, 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 noob.
Tango, tango, tango. What's happening, man?
Oh,
It's good.
living life. Excited for baseball. Real baseball has started. Spring training. Spring has sprung. There's been at least one. There's one game yesterday. I don't know what's all going on today, but it's here.
One blowout, sir. The Dodgers just crushed the Padres, man. Padres, just Joe Musgrove on my fantasy team. Not a great showing. Not a great showing whatsoever. Gonna maybe pull some strings to get an early trade going. Just kidding, because I know it's early.
You should base all of it off of spring training, like your entire roster. Yeah,
I want to, absolutely. Joe Musgrove on the trading block.
You can pick up all those 20-year-old AAA guys that just do really well in spring training.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't know. 1 year, Andrew Jones hit 10 bombs in spring training, and that was the same year he hit 50. So whoever hits 10 home runs in spring training, that's when you know they're going to pop off and hit 50.
I think Vlad's going to hit 10 tomorrow in their game.
He might.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
He might.
I mean, he would never at bat 10 times in a game, in a spring training game. But
yeah, it'd be crazy. 10 home runs in a spring is just nuts.
That's nuts, regardless. Yeah. I feel like guys don't even play enough to hit 10 home runs. It's like you're almost hitting one every game you play. Like you're playing.
Pretty much, man.
Because you wouldn't even play every game, especially if you're a guy like Andrew Jones.
No, and this was, I mean, when he was primed. I mean, in his prime. So you know he's not playing every day. It's pretty nuts, pretty nuts. I don't know if anyone else has really done that, but I mean, that's probably like the least interesting stat line you can really look up. Is just like, who is the best spring traiing player?
There's a video idea.
Joe Adell is there.
Video idea for you, just like the best spring training stat lines of the last 10 years.
I can't wait to get 3 views on it. No one cares. No one cares. Although I do think, didn't Kelenic have a good spring last year? And that's when he went on to have like a really good April. I want to say that actually happened.
I think that's right. Yeah. Went off in the beginning of the year and then just not so much the rest of the year. Same with, like Matt Chapman, but I don't think he did anything in spring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Matt Chapman's still a free agent, by the way. If you didn't know.
He's still a free agent. That is nuts, man. That is just absolutely nuts.
So I want to know your thoughts on this Scott Boras. Like, do you think this whole thing with him and getting his clients to just kind of wait it out? Like, if you're a client of his, like, do you think these guys like Snell and Chapman and Bellinger, like, do you think they're wanting to sign, or like, are they fully bought into this? Like, we're going to wait it out and still get our money? Like,
I don't know. I wish we kind of knew more about that, like on the outside. Whose decision has it been, really? Are they getting offers and the players are just like, I want to play. Maybe I want to take this, but also Scott's telling them like to hold off. I can get you more. But it's getting to the point where you might be losing some money if you're not signing, I don't know, in the next month or so, or maybe you just don't care. But I mean, if I'm a player, I'm wanting to get to know my teammates. I want to get familiarized with the environment I'm going to be playing in for the next however many years. And it's interesting because teams are already getting their rosters in order, finalized and stuff. So I just know they're probably waiting for an injury to happen. We've already seen Kodai Senga go down with shoulder issues, so that might work in their favor as far as like, do the Mets sign Snell? Do the Mets sign Montgomery? But the one thing about the Mets is if they're not planning to compete, which they weren't this year, why spend a whole bunch of money on a guy you weren't necessarily interested in the first place if he wasn't originally part of the long-term success?
Yeah. That's a good point. It's going to be interesting to see. Like, I guess if you don't have a family and stuff, I could see guys who have families really wanting to get stuff locked down earlier in the off season. So like, because you got to like move and know where you're going to be. I think Kiermaier sort of said that. He's like, you know what, my family really loved it here. We just wanted to get things settled so we didn't have to like do too much and get too much figured out last minute. Yeah, guy, like if you're a single dude and you just kind of like end up playing wherever, and like if the difference is $40 million, $50 million, I guess like it works. But like at the same time, like you drag this out too long, it's like, what are you going to get? Yeah, I don't know. Banking on injuries just seems like a weird way to go about it, but I guess if it works, it works.
Yeah, it's
The
almost like
desperation.
yeah, it's almost like if you wait this long, you have to sign like a big multi-year deal. Because what if you sign like a 1 year prove it deal or 2 year gap deal because you missed out on the long term and now you do terrible in your first year because you don't get to ramp up like everyone else. You don't get that spring training experience and then you're out a whole bunch of money if you're a player. And Scott Boras is probably not going to be a happy guy with that because, I mean, he's getting a cut of that money. So it's just, I don't think, I don't think a deadline for free agency is necessarily the answer. But I've seen that talked about on the Twitter sphere. I just don't think that makes sense either. But it's just such a weird thing. We've never had this many free agents unsigned at the beginning of
Yeah.
spring training, at least like big time. I know
Like
Bryce
top
Harper,
tier. I
maybe.
mean, like
Yeah.
Bellinger was the number 2 kind of hitting free agent after Otani basically this year.
Yeah.
And like there hasn't even been anything really besides it was like kind of Blue Jays, Cubs. Now it's like kind of like Cubs maybe, but at the same time, all these teams have like sort of figured out other options at this point. Like I still think Bellinger could fit on the Jays. Probably, I mean, and probably the Cubs too. But at the same time, like you're not just going to sit there and wait around forever. I wonder if
I think
we'll get to the actual beginning of the season with some of these guys still unsigned.
I think we do. I think at least 2 of them. I think Blake Snell and Cody Bellinger don't sign until like April or May. And I think the Yankees are going to sign Snell. I think it's going to happen at some point. I think they're going to wait like a month, and if Snell's still out there, they're going to pounce on it. Especially if Nestor doesn't pitch well, if Rodon doesn't bounce back, then I think that he's a prime Yankees candidate. And maybe the way Scott Boras is thinking is that hey, there's going to be an injury to happen at some point. It's inevitable. There's going to be a guy that goes down. And if that's a team that necessarily relied on that starter that goes down and is in like win now mode, that's going to drive their price up even higher because it's like, we know what we have. We know what you need. You need an arm. Blake Snell has an arm, a Cy Young arm. So you need to get to the playoffs and you're out a guy like, I don't know, let's say Garrett Cole gets hurt. You're out a guy like Garrett Cole. Blake Snell is the only dude that's going to even come close to replacing that type of level of play. So now we're going to charge you even more because we know you can't get that anywhere else.
Yeah. Oof. It's so crazy. It'll be interesting. I'm like really. I just want to know like where these guys kind of end up. Like it's just been such a funny offseason that I feel like any of these guys could end up in kind of a weird place that you never thought of, or they all could just kind of go where you think they're going to go, like Chapman to the Giants and Montgomery back to Texas and stuff like that. But we'll see.
I want Montgomery back to Texas, man. I think Texas could repeat, or I'm just interested to see if like a team will repeat in like the next 30 years or so. I don't think they'll.
So hard, but
it's so tough.
I think they have like a really good chance. I mean, I thought like Houston had a pretty good chance going to last year, and then they didn't, obviously. Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers
just got to their 7th straight ALCS. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. And they probably will again. Like, they're just, that team's still so good. And like Josh Hader now. Oh, man.
Yeah, that back end of the bullpen is disgusting.
I wonder if they're going to extend like Kyle Tucker or Bregman or like Bregman. I think Bregman's a free agent next year and Tucker the year after. Yep. I don't know when Jordan is, but like those are some big pieces.
Big pieces. I would extend Kyle Tucker before I extend Bregman.
Oh yeah, he's younger and better, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Bregman's
not going to have another year. Yeah, he's a very good player. Very good player.
He'd be a beautiful third baseman for the Blue Jays next year.
Yeah. I think Jordan's got a couple more years.
Probably he's still relatively young. I mean, they all are.
Yeah, 26-ish. Bregman's almost 30. That snuck up on us quick. That really snuck up on us quick. Can't believe he's never going to have another year like 2019, but I didn't realize he was second in the MVP voting that year. But that was a hell of a year. 41 home runs. That's actually nuts.
41?
Actually,
Damn,
yeah.
Breggy?
Yeah, right? I believe so. If I got my maths correct.
Vladdy's going to hit 40 this year, I think, if he plays the whole season.
Yeah.
Wrist healed up. He's looking in great shape. I think Vlad's going to have a monster year this year.
Yeah, I do too.
Maybe not like MVP type 2021, but, like 40, 110, 295.
Yeah, I think it could happen.
I think so. Actually, I think a lot of Jays are going to bounce back. You know what? Obviously that Ohtani loss was like a big hit, and nothing like everybody, as far as Jays fans, have really been wanting something very exciting to happen in the offseason. But there's really not that many exciting players. Like, is Cody Bellinger that exciting? Like, he was really good last year. He was an MVP, but he also has been like one of the worst hitters in baseball for a couple of years in between. So it's like you never know. It's a huge question mark, especially if you're signing him for like 7 or 8 years.
That's exactly one of the reasons I don't think he signs until later, because it makes sense that teams are not going to give him that type of money. I mean, Blake Snell is kind of one of those dudes too. I mean, he's had 2 Cy Young seasons and not a single vote any other year. So that's just like, that's scary.
It is.
That's scary for a team, especially with his age and his walk issues.
Commit hundreds of millions of dollars to those guys. And I mean, like, next year's class is better. Like, you got Soto, Bregman, like, there's some other big names, especially on the offensive side, I think. Garrett Cole next year.
I don't think so.
Or the year after that. He's got to be. I think he's coming up soon.
I think he's got like 5 years left.
No, there's some pitcher that I'm thinking of. Maybe it's not him. I don't know. Somebody else then. Maybe I can't remember who it was, but
Cole signed until he's not going to be free agent until 2029.
That's what I said, wasn't it? I just said exactly that.
I thought you said my bad. I thought you said he was going to be a free agent like 2 more years.
I did. I was just dumb.
Oh, got you.
Just dumb. Okay. Okay.
Me too.
There's somebody. There's some.
Sorry, it's been a long day. It's been a long couple days.
I don't know who I'm thinking of then.
Someone just signed an extension though.
Who's that?
Mitch Keller. Keller.
Yeah.
Buccos. The Buccos actually spending money, trying to get better. Could you even imagine? I'm a big Mitch Keller guy. Big Mitch Keller guy. A lot of strikeouts. He's been getting better every year. Love to see it.
Yeah, it'll be like it's so weird, I find, when like teams like that, like, who aren't really gonna, like, you don't expect much from the Pirates probably in the next couple of years. I mean, you never know. Like, O'Neal Cruz could break out, and again, the central divisions like kind of are up for grabs. Like, they could, have a year like the Reds did last year and just kind of like flirt with the postseason. You never really know.
It's almost like all the Central just has some decent lineups, but they got no pitching. Like the Cubs after Justin Steele, it's nothing.
Yeah,
it's
like
Jameson Taillon,
40-year-old Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah, like Kyle Hendricks. I mean, what do we expect from him this year? He's getting older, and I'm actually low-key excited for the future rotation for the Pirates. Like Paul Skeens and Mitch Keller, number 1 and 2, most likely. Paul Skeens probably being the number 1, I think. I think that could be fun to watch. I mean, I think Paul Skeens could be up this year.
How old is he?
Like in May.
How many years of college did he play?
I think he played like 3. I could see him being up in May. I honestly could.
He's 21. All right. Yeah, he he could make an impact for that team for sure. I mean, like a team like that, you have no reason not to like give some of these guys a shot, especially if like they do well and in the minors for a bit. And like,
yeah,
I guess except for like service time stuff, like you do have a financial reason not to.
Very true.
All that, but yeah,
very true.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him have a few starts.
Absolutely. Plus, I mean, he started the year in Double-A last year. That was his first taste of pro ball. Like 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks. I was actually surprised with how good control he has. He's projected to have solid control with that just nasty stuff. I wonder, like, where he stacks up in the last couple big pitching prospects. We had Strasburg was one of the like most highly touted prospects we've ever seen from college. Like, where does he stack up compared to him? I wonder.
Yeah,
probably not the same because Strasburg threw like 7 straight no-hitters or something crazy for wherever he went to school.
Something what like that? Is that what he did? I don't know much.
I think so.
Strasburg's college career.
I remember seeing something like that. Like he's thrown, I don't know, 7 no-hitters in a row or something like that. It's probably not that, and I'm probably just I'm looking it up right now.
That's kind of sad what happened with him.
I know he threw 1. It really is
too
man.
bad. Like he's still 35. Like this guy should still have, should have had like 5 or 6 more decent seasons, but
yeah, it sucks, man. He threw a no-hitter in his final home start in college, but I don't know if he threw more. But I just remember him like popping off apparently.
13-1 in his junior year, 1.32 ERA.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Lost 1 game. Struck out 17 in his no-hitter. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah, just a casual 17. No, not bad whatsoever. Solid.
World Series MVP, Steven Strasburg.
He earned it.
Yeah, he was a stud.
He very much earned it. He went all out. You love to see it.
That team's so weird. Like, it's so weird that they even turned it around, made the postseason, and then somehow went on this Cinderella run, beat the Dodgers. Obviously beat the Astros. It was the Astros. They played the Astros in the World Series, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was rooting for the Astros heavily because I was like, they can't have an NL East team besides the Braves win it right now because the Braves won the division. But, it's looking back on it, that was nuts. And Howie Kendrick popped off and hit that grand slam off of Kershaw, I think.
Yeah. And getting
and extras, I think.
Was it the year after Harper left? The first year of Harper being gone?
Yeah.
Of
yeah,
course.
It was the first year of Harper being gone. That's actually nuts. Oh, I pulled up Paul Skeen's stats last year. 122 and 2/3 innings pitched, 209 strikeouts, 20 walks. Just 20 walks. That is kind of nuts to me.
Yeesh.
1.69 ERA. ERA is not as good as Strasburg's, but dude, that 20 walks, that's kind of nuts.
It is nuts. Just going after guys. Love it.
Yeah, love it too. Just straight. He's got that dog in him. I think. Yeah, what else? He's got to get used to the uniforms, though.
The uniforms. My goodness. Just when you thought they couldn't get any worse, all the media day photos start coming out, and I don't even care about the jerseys and the jersey lettering anymore. These pants, you got to do something about these pants. These are paper thin.
You see through. They're see through.
Our team's just not going to wear white pants this year? Are they going to wear 2 pairs of pants? It is
They might be.
ridiculous.
It's just insane. Who cleared these? Who cleared this? It just does not make any sense. I literally can't believe it. It just something has to change. Like seeing the players' underwear through the pants. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I can't fathom. We've had the Jersey Gate, and I don't know.
All of these pictures coming up on Twitter are just like each one is more hilarious than the next. Everything with the jerseys, with the pants, it's just like, oh, do you see that? Was it Michael Chavis or some Chavis?
The Giants
with he like posted like his jersey, the back of his jersey, and then Fanatics was like, "Oh, sorry to hear about that. Like, let us reach out to you." And then it was his actual MLB jersey. God. Like, it wasn't a fan. They thought it was like a fan who bought one, and it was like looked all janky, but it was like a legit player's jersey. And then Fanatics crazy, like deleted the tweet. Whoever their Twitter people are. Yeah.
Someone's getting fired. Whoever, I don't know, but if you're holding on to Fanatics stock, you better sell it while there's still any value left. Fanatics is not taking care of business.
No, it's brutal. Like, I don't know. I did see one of the in a store jerseys, and I actually I don't hate it as much in person. It was the Blue Jays, a white George Springer one. I was looking at it. It's definitely like different and like, I don't know. It's like cheaper looking, but also not. It's weird. I feel like everybody needs to kind of see them, but I mean, it's definitely like not as good as they've been in the past. Like, I don't know.
No, what's the arch of the letters too? Like, guys with 4 letters in their last name, there's an arch to their name. We don't need an arch when there's only 4 letters. It can be straight across the top. Did Great Britain, the team, whoever designed the Great Britain jerseys, did they get hired at Fanatics? Because it's possible. They might have. It's kind of nuts. Speaking of nuts, didn't mean to
get your Fanatics pants. They should sell those pants at least. Like, sell them to the public. Let us all buy these cheap pants. Show everything off to the world.
Yeah, we'd all be getting handed notices telling us not to be 500 feet within some areas.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I wonder what's going to happen. Like, at what point in the season? Because you got to think, like, to replace the pants for every team. Like, it's going to take some time. So, like, by the All-Star break, it's going to be like that's the All-Star will debut new pants for every team. Are they even going to change it? Like, are they just going to keep it? Like, you got to think they can't. Like, there's so much complaints from, like, who cares about the fans, but like the players themselves. Like,
yeah, I'm not like if I'm a player, I'm not trying to be put on display. Basically, every time I pose for a picture, every time I'm like bending over to stretch my hamstrings out, I'm not trying to be put on display for everyone to see. It's crazy.
Be the only Fanatics fans. Tried to
they just
combine it. Didn't quite work out the way I wanted it there.
That's all right. You went for it at least. I respect it.
Reaching.
I respect it. You swing for the fences every time. You're going to whiff a couple times. But it's just so disappointing, and it makes baseball look non-serious. It makes baseball look just uncompetitive from a big sports type of thing. Like, it looks like a not interleague, but intramural is the word I'm looking for, at a D3 school, where those are the uniforms we're going to go put on to play flag football, or a mixed softball, slow pitch softball league.
Yeah, I feel like baseball pants have like been the same forever. Like, why did you change them? Like, it's baseball pants. Like, and I'm also like, they're so thin. I'm like, guy can like rip through them sliding into second base. Like, yeah. Like, what are they? Like, you need them to be thick and like hold up to sliding around the ground. It's not like, whatever, like basketball shorts. You're kind of just whatever, you run around and who cares? It's a little bit different. I can see them
It's
like
just unbelievable.
wanting to be lighter and stuff if you're playing basketball. Because I think this has been happening through all the sports kind of in the last, like, I think Fanatics does all the NHL jerseys now, and people have been complaining about that for a little bit. And I think Nike does the NBA stuff right now, but they had changed them. Actually, the lettering and numbering kind of reminds me of like what's been on NBA jerseys the last couple of years, as far as like the replica ones and what you would buy at the stores. A little thinner, not as stitchy looking, but it's not like super cheap, like what you would expect on like if you just like did it yourself vinyl. It's better than that, but it's a big change. It's a big change. People don't like change.
It is a big change, especially when the change sucks. I love change when it benefits me and it's better, but it sucks. It's terrible. And I think, who was it? Trey Turner that got quoted saying, like, he basically said, yeah,
We
pretty
hate
much
them. Yeah.
everyone hates them.
Everyone hates them.
It's like, I wonder how the people at Fanatics have to feel, or if they're just going to gaslight everyone and be like, nope, they're wrong. It's better. It's better for everyone. No, it's not. If you got guys like that, Trey Turner's been playing for a long time saying your product sucks and we don't like it. Your product sucks and no one likes it. That's the deal.
Yeah. And the prices on some of these, like you're trying to get like $450 for some of these now. I'm like, who's paying that? Nobody.
No. Yeah, I'm not paying for that. I'm not buying a jersey. I will buy a shirt. I haven't bought an MLB shirt in so long.
I don't think I own any
I haven't
MLB
bought a shirt
shirts.
in general.
I own a decent amount of jerseys. I sent you that. I'm always a jersey guy.
Got a good
I like to
collection.
make it a thing when I go to a game. Like it's already like I have to make a trip of it anytime I go anywhere, right? So I'm like, this is my my big souvenir.
That's solid. That's a solid tradition right there. I used to do the same thing when the gym was like my pastime. So I'd be at these like big time famous gyms and I'd buy a shirt, like American Iron in, or no, that's Reno. Iron Sport in like right outside of Philadelphia. Did not get a shirt from there because I just was there once and forgot.
What makes a gym famous? Just like the people who have like, that was like their home base. Like it's like Schwarzenegger's gym and stuff like that, or just like
I've
never really been in the gym world.
There's this really famous commercial from Iron Sport gym that's like, it was pretty famous. From like about as famous as a gym commercial can be for like
Fair enough.
But it was pretty funny.
All right.
But yeah, and then another place where I did a travel assignment, Reno, Nevada, place called American Iron. It was just a baller gym. They had a couple of just monsters there, just absolute monsters, like a couple 900-pound squatters, just insane, and like pictures of champions, like bodybuilding champions, powerlifting, you name it, is pretty sick, man. But I'm way past my prime as far as gym stuff goes. Maybe we'll get back to there at some point. Right now, I just don't care as much. Like I don't have the amount of time to dedicate as I used to. I would love to, but it's just like my priorities have changed a little bit into my 30s. But that's a story for another day.
As they do.
Yeah, don't need to be super jacked. Would like to be semi-strong and feel decent.
I just try and do like some yoga and stuff every once in a while. I never was a big gym guy. I did it I did it for a little bit. I went for like a month when I was in university with my buddy. We went like almost every day because I would just like go before class and whatever. And at my school, like you could go to the gym you got a gym pass with being enrolled at the school, right? And it was really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
That they had like, it was only a few years old at that time. So whatever, I'd go but like, I don't know. I couldn't do it like lifting weights or like running and biking, and like I can't do it. It just is not for me. So, yeah, I actually do. I don't know how familiar you are with the wrestling world, but I do DDP yoga every once in a while. I try and do that like a couple days.
I've seen that. I've seen that. Really, I've seen like, it's actually like really solid.
It's good. Like it's good when you can do just like a 25 minutes and like get a decent sweat and like you kind of feel good.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
I'm just old. I need to just stretch more than I need to like lift heavy things.
Me too. I need to stretch so I can lift heavy things, and I fail at that because I hate stretching.
So I just need to be limber for hitting slow pitch bombs all summer this year. You know?
Hell yeah. I need to be limber just to not hurt my back anymore at work.
Fair enough. You're a pretty physically demanding job, so
sometimes heavy people.
Well, just you're like you gotta be like on your feet pretty much the whole day and like doing.
There's a lot of moving around. Some days I'll end up with like it depends on where I work. Like some places I could only have 5,000 to 6,000 steps at the end of my day, and then some places I have 12,000 by 1 o'clock. So it's pretty nuts, pretty nuts. But anyway, I'm sure you're all super interested about my step counter and what it's been through.
It's nice to learn about us a little bit, right? Right, folks?
That's true. Listening? I'd like to think so.
Hey.
I hope so.
Like we said last time, we appreciate, our small community of listeners. Keep coming back. Yeah. Keep coming back. We'll keep being here. Once the season starts, there's going to be so many things to talk about, I'm sure. Or once some of these guys start signing, like, give us these things. Make it happen.
Come on, Scotty. Get some deals happening. It's kind of nuts that this is happening. It's kind of nuts.
Nuts that this is happening. It's nuts that these pants are so thin that we can see everybody's nuts.
Wafer thin. Wafer thin. Thin mints thin.
But baseball's here. People are literally, there are teams playing baseball as we speak right now. The Cubs and White Sox, I think, are playing. Texas and the Royals are playing. The Dodgers and the Padres. The Blue Jays play tomorrow. I'm excited. We get to all the Blue Jays games are on like the Sportsnet channels, the streaming channel, or whatever up here, so we can watch all of them.
That.
Do you see the Diamondbacks put out? Like, I don't know how you feel about this because, like, for me, I have like basic cable or like our cable. The sports channel that's on our cable is like owned by Rogers, who owns the Blue Jays. So every Blue Jays game besides like the Apple TV ones and those, like when they do those special ones, we just get to see them all. Like they're just on TV. There's no blackouts or anything. Legit. But I know in the States it's a lot different. But I saw that the Diamondbacks put out like it's like $100 and you get to watch, like it's like D-backs plus or whatever. You can watch every Diamondbacks game. So,
I think that's great.
Yeah, like what do you think about that? I'm like interested.
I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I'm assuming no blackouts, because that's great if it's no blackouts. But if it's
that would be my
blackouts
guess.
are included. If blackouts are included, then it's very stupid, because who's going to buy that? D-backs fans who are in the blackout areas.
Yeah, it doesn't say. Let's go to the website D-backs. So it says stream D-backs baseball $99.99 per year. Stream D-backs games in the Arizona area with no blackouts, subject to national exclusivities. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing it would be like everything again, except for like when they do the YouTube games or whatever, like the Sunday night baseball
Apple
and shit
games
like
or
that.
something like that. I think that's fantastic. Then like I hope every team comes out with that sort of thing, because it's like that's incentive to watch your team, be a fan of the team that's in your city. MLB.com packages, unless you live way far away, you can't watch your team. It's crazy. That's not a good way to grow. So I think what the D-backs are doing, fantastic. Hats off to them. And I hope more teams have that in the future.
Yeah, I feel like they will. Like maybe we'll see a couple more this year, but I'm sure like this D-backs one is probably just like a bit of a trial, see how it goes, what their sales are and stuff like that. It looks like you can get the D-backs TV itself for $100, or you can add it to MLB TV, and then it's $199.
That's interesting. I think what was I about to say? On MLB TV, they had this thing last year where it was basically, I think it was a trial run, but it was like NFL Red Zone, where anything that was remotely interesting happening in a game, the broadcast would shift over to that.
Mhm.
And I thought that was super cool. I saw a lot of plays happening, a lot of big moments or semi big moments happening, and just like it's super interesting. I would watch that all day.
Yeah, red zone is sweet.
It's super
Like
cool.
I used to when I used to watch football a little bit more, like just cutting to obviously all the different teams in the red zones. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome. Baseball is kind of a weird one because, like, I guess if it's like bases loaded or if it's like the bottom of the ninth and like runners on and stuff, but a lot of stuff can happen out of nowhere in a baseball game, which is like,
Yep, that's true.
and like defense. I mean, I guess like defensive highlights are cool to watch, but they're not really like, you know, you would never know if that was going to happen. Like, you don't know if somebody's going to rob a home run or make like a crazy diving catch, but still the idea of like trying to do something like that and just make things more streamlined and exciting. It's good. Anything that's trying to grow baseball is good.
Yeah, it's very good. It was actually like in a if you looked at your TV, it was you see 4 screens basically on your TV, and the one that was being broadcast was outlined in red. So you heard what was going on in that game, but you could see everything that was going on in the other like 3 games or whatever that was on your screen, which was super tight. And whenever a game would go to commercial, it would get like minimized.
Yeah, when I used to subscribe to MLB TV. I haven't in the last year or two, but just doing that, you kind of just do that because you could put like the 3 or 4 games up and just kind of switch between which one you wanted to do at a time. Solid, because who doesn't love watching like every baseball game at the same time?
Yeah, love it. Love it. I want to watch just more overall baseball this year. Just like although the last time I did that, poor DeGrom went on the IL for a long time. So sorry, Mets fans, it's probably my bad. I was just like, I want to watch more DeGrom starts because I don't get to appreciate this nearly enough. And look what happened. I tore his UCL.
It's all your fault, man.
Actually, no, I forgot which injury that was. That sucks to say. Like which injury? That's terrible.
There's just been so many.
That sucks so bad. Speaking of DeGrom, when is he coming back? Like, when do we think he's going to make his first appearance in the Rangers uniform?
I don't know. When is he supposed to be? Like June or something?
I think that's probably close. Maybe like August. Man, what a weapon to get.
Oh, yeah. DeGrom
like
plays
in August.
Catch with eyes on August return.
Imagine you're the Rangers like 3 games up in the division in July and you make a couple moves at the deadline to better your team. And then 3 weeks later, you get Jacob DeGrom to come back and get ready for your postseason run. That's unreal.
I wonder when Scherzer's supposed to be back too. He had like
True. I wonder when that's going to happen as well.
Disc in December.
That's no good. Maybe August or something.
So it looks like on the screen here, Tyler Mahle, July, DeGrom, August, and Max. They're shooting for June, but no hard timetable. So
interesting. That's going to be fun.
That's like a nice boost after the All-Star break. Just get like a couple aces back to finish off the year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No big deal.
And that's the part that's Texas is kind of lacking. So it's like and they already know what's coming. They're already like, we're going to get a boost later in the summer, and unless like a snag hits. But even if a snag hits, like there's still a couple months left in the season that they could work through that and then get those guys at like September. And even if they can't throw like, I don't know, 5 inning starts or anything, you get them for 2 to 3 innings in a postseason game.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Bring back DeGrom as your closer to end the season.
That'd be electric. Getting strong like
insane
Chris Sale vibes in 2018 where he got the last out of the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Strong vibes, strong Chris Sale vibes.
What do you think about Chris Sale this year? You think he's going to have a decent season for you guys, or what?
I do actually. I'm trying not to set my expectations high, and I'm even if he gave us like 12 starts during the year, I'm like, that's cool. That's cool as long as he's healthy down the stretch for the postseason, or if we're looking not so hot in the division, then use him August, September. But this is the first year in several years he's finishing a season healthy. So he's getting it. He got a full off season healthy. He's getting a full healthy spring training. So I have my high end expectations or hopes is that he goes like 150 innings. And if that happens,
solid.
that is some great stuff. But I think more realistically, somewhere in the 80 to 100 innings range with like a 4 ERA, get some strikeouts. Solid. I'm here for it.
Take it. You'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely take it. When he's on, he's on. He had a decent year last year. He had a really bad April that really kind of drove his numbers up a little bit or down, whatever your perspective on that is. So I'm hoping that this year's a little different for him, but we will see. We will see.
It's baseball, man. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, I just want everybody to be healthy. Everybody, everywhere to be healthy. I want to see Stanton healthy because we're not going to be seeing him too often anymore. I don't feel like if he's not healthy. I want to see Judge healthy for a full year. Sucks that Shohei is not on the mound, but I want to see him healthy at the plate.
These Dodgers are going to score a lot of runs, man. It's look. I honestly going to score a lot. Here's my maybe hot take, maybe medium heat take. I think Teoscar Hernandez leads the Dodgers in home runs this year.
I think that's an extremely hot take.
I think he's going to.
I would say that's an extremely
hot. Or Mookie Betts.
There is no way that is even close to being a mild take. I think that is an absolutely hot take.
7 on the stove. We'll take it a 7.
7, dude. That's about a 9.5.
He's gonna get everybody's gonna pitch to him because he's just look at who else is in the lineup. Like you get probably like Max Muncy behind him, Ohtani maybe in front of him.
Max Muncy will beat him in home runs. I think Max Muncy absolutely.
It's my hot take.
Are they going to? That's a great hot take. That is a great hot take. But that's where it threw me off when you said it was a mild take. I'm like, dude, there's no way that's a mild
hottest take.
That's an extreme. Dude, I would steal that for a video, or you should make a video
about my mild medium takes, or just that one take specifically.
Dude, you should just do that one take. You would have to science the hell out of that. I'm here for it.
You'd have to build a gut. It's just in my gut. I just think he's going to go off this year. 45. 45.
He could. That's wild. Crazier things have happened. Crazier things have happened. That's just not the mild take I was expecting. Hits the ball insanely hard.
Dude, look, the dude crushes lefties. I don't know, 26. No, 30, 32?
32.
I think he broke 30 with
32. Yeah. Yep, 32 and 21.
When everybody was hitting home runs for us.
I had an extremely hot take for the Dodgers this coming year. Like extremely hot take.
50 wins.
No. No one on the Dodgers receives a Cy Young vote.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. No one on the Dodgers receives a Cy Young vote.
No.
Yes.
If you got to think if Glasnow or Yamamoto makes 30 starts, one of those two I think would get at least a Cy Young vote. At least one.
I'm banking on and
Just banking on
to
the
be
Dodgers pitching injuries curse.
No, not at all. By the way, just because I said this, I don't think it's going to happen, nor do I want it to happen, but just saying it's a possibility. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, great pitcher. He underwhelms in his first full season. Tyler Glasnow, he doesn't handle the workload of 150 innings well. So he either gets shelved for a little bit or he doesn't handle all of his starts the way he handled them in Tampa Bay. Bobby Miller, great pitcher, has a little bit of a sophomore slump. Maybe some hitters figure him out a little bit. And then Kershaw, he's not going to have the innings. So, and Bueller.
Yeah, when's Bueller coming back?
I think he's in spring training. He's going to be throwing spring training right now, I think. So I think he's going to be coming back
Full
soon.
season?
He's already throwing bullpens. Yeah, full season possibly. But you don't know what you're going to get with him. So, no Cy Young votes. That's how it all happens.
Did any of them get Cy Young votes last year? Anybody for the Dodgers? I feel like Kershaw, even like missing some time, should have.
I think Kershaw did.
I know.
And despite all of that, they will still, if all that happens, if that pitching fiasco happens, they will still win 95 games. At least.
Their pitching depth chart is kind of crazy. James Paxton's on that team now, isn't he? Like, just so random.
Yes, he is. Kershaw did not get Cy Young votes.
No, nobody did.
So maybe mine is not that hot of a take then. Dang, I wish it was a hotter take.
I feel like it is because with like Glasnow and Yamamoto are both fully healthy guys. Like they should. Yeah, because obviously, like if they only make 20 starts, like then whatever it does, the take discounted.
Yes, absolutely.
But I mean, Glasnow like never plays a full season. And Yamamoto, you never know what to expect when guys come over. You just don't know.
Yeah, I'm like his numbers are great. The only number coming over from Japan to the US to the MLB that scares me a little bit is his lack of K per 9. His K per 9 over in Japan was just over 9. Which, I mean, you don't have to strike people out to be good. You don't, not at all. But I feel like most of the dominant pitchers we see, yeah, exactly. It helps. Like the Cy Youngs we see, like the Garrett Cole strikes out a ton. Blake Snell, that's how he won the Cy Young, by striking everyone out. So, like, his walks didn't matter. Kershaw strikes people out. Maybe not to the extent of that what he used to, but I don't know how it's going to translate. But at the same time, you got to think the style of play in Japan is more contact approach, I feel like. So that could be another thing. Yeah. So that's another thing. Maybe I'm being a little bit naive as far as, his K per 9 is not amazing in Japan, so it should be a little bit worse when it comes over to the MLB, but it's just two different styles of play. So that may not be the thing.
What was Otani's? Like, was he striking guys out like crazy in Japan?
That's a great question, actually. That is a fantastic question.
Because he strikes a lot of guys out.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he does. Japanese League stats.
Strikeouts per 9. Oh, yeah. He had
just
10.4.
Yeah, 11.4 in his career. K per 9.
Yeah, so like a little bit more. An extra batter per 9 innings.
That adds up.
Oh, yeah.
Adds
up. 174 in 2016. Struck out 174 batters.
That's pretty wild.
In 21 games?
Yamamoto does not walk anyone, though. Doesn't give up hits. His walks 2.2 2.0 walks per 9, 6.2 hits per 9.
Man, I'm just excited for baseball. I just can't.
Me too.
I'm so excited to watch. Ricky Tiedemann was supposed to start tomorrow in the first spring training game for the Jays, but apparently some hamstring tightness or something today, so he's not. It's like a little disappointing because I was like, this kid, apparently he's like put on like 15, 20 pounds like muscle and like is looking good. He was hitting 96 like his first bullpen in spring training. Lefty too, like
pretty good.
Like this dude can run it up.
Pretty good.
He might run it up close to 100 once he ramps up.
That'd be sick.
You don't find a ton of lefty starters throwing 100 miles an hour. So
no, not really. Not really. Got that guy Kyle Harrison for the Giants. I don't know if he throws 100. I think upper 90s, I want to say. I don't know if he touches 100, but I think it's like 96, 97 maybe. Still pretty nasty.
Sixes reaches, 92, 95, reaches 97.
Oh, never mind.
But that might have been like an older prospect ranking thing. But so yeah, I mean like 97, 98, like that's not too bad for a lefty starter.
Pretty good.
That's how Kikuchi was getting guys out, man. He like worked on his curveball a bit, and then he just rifle in like 96 on the hands, and dudes couldn't do anything.
Yeah, he had a good year.
He was really good.
He had a pretty solid year. Probably the best year of his career last year, I'd say.
He was good, man. I'm so excited for Blue Jays pitching staff this year.
I'm excited for it all. Yeah, I'm excited for it all.
3.86 ERA for Cooch last year. Not bad.
Not bad whatsoever.
Better than his All-Star year. Won 11 games.
I did not know he was an All-Star.
Struck out 181 batters. Oh, yeah, in 2021 when Seattle was still bad.
He was supposed to be like the next big thing.
Well, I mean, he might be like this. He looked really good in a lot of his starts last year. Like, I feel like the Blue Jays.
That wasn't meant to be a shot. Like he's not lived up to expectations.
He was pretty bad for a couple of his. He's looked really good at times and really bad. I feel like the Jays kind of have that, like anyone could have like a really crazy season and like get Cy Young votes, because Jays have had like a Cy Young finalist like the last 4 years every year.
Yeah,
nobody's cracked it and won it, but like Gossman, Manoah, even Hyunjin Ryu was a finalist in 2020. Like,
it's pretty wild. Ryu's signed a 4-year contract in the KBO.
Well, I guess Robbie Ray won it, so I'm an idiot.
That's true. Yeah, nobody remembers Robbie Ray. Yeah. It's fine. Nobody does.
He'll be the hero of the Giants if he might come back and help them out, or he might come back and do nothing for them. Yeah, back to.
I'd love to see Robbie Ray come back.
Hyunjin Ryu, 8-year deal.
8-year deal?
Yeah. 8 years. Yeah.
That's nuts. Well, he's already like 38 or something crazy. Like, what the hell?
How old is he?
He's going to be 37. He turns 37 in a month. Right. Signing an 8-year deal? That's crazy.
Largest contract in KBO history, 8-year contract equivalent to around $12.4 million.
That's actually nuts.
Soon to be 37. I can't believe that. That is crazy.
I mean, that's an offer you can't really refuse, to be honest. Like he's not going to get an 8-year deal for Major League Baseball. There's no way. So it's like if he wanted to guarantee his playing time for the next 8 years, then you got to take that. And that's where he came from, right? He start? He started off in the KBO, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think he played like 5 or 6 years there before he went to the Dodgers.
Coming full circle and doing that is pretty cool.
He was good. It's kind of too bad he got injured in 2022 and missed like that whole year basically. But ERA leader 2019, Cy Young finalist 2020.
Solid career.
Solid. 3.27 career ERA. Nothing to scoff at.
Not at all. Not at all. Pretty great. Pretty solid career. 20.1 WAR in his short amount of time over here, and 1,000 innings. About maybe not short, but yeah, like you said, second in Cy Young, third in Cy Young, back to back years. I didn't realize he had that good of a 2020.
Yeah, he was good. And then he got lit up in they expanded the playoffs in the COVID season. He got lit up by the Rays. Gave up like 6 in the first inning. It's classic Blue Jays, man. Like we're 0-6 in our last 6 playoff games, and we just get like smoked or blow 7-run leads. Can't score. I think we scored besides that game against the Mariners that we lost 10-9, I think. In the other 5 games, I think we scored a combined 6 runs. Like you just can't score. This Vladdy Bo era, like this is the year. If they don't do it this year, I honestly, I hate to say it, but one of those guys might get moved next year, even this year if they're bad.
That's rough, man.
They're both free agents after next season.
Who, Bo and Vlad?
Bo and Vlad, yeah, after 2025. So,
what would you want to happen? Extend them both, obviously.
Oh man, it's so tough to say because here's what I'll say about Blue Jays fans. I would rather have a World Series win than either of those guys on my team. I would trade that. Like a winning team is going to be better for the Jays than a superstar, I would say. And usually those things go hand in hand. Like it's rare that you win a World Series without like at least 1 or 2 pretty high profile players on your team. I'm
gonna have a follow-up question whenever you're done.
But like right now, it's hard because like I understand not wanting to extend Vlad because he's kind of like that Bellinger situation almost a little bit. Like he's still way younger. You see kind of what he's done, what he can do, but what he's done. Bo, I think, is like a little more consistent. It would be, I just like as something as far as like the Jays don't really have any sort of like long-term stuff right now. Like most guys contracts are up in the next 2 years. So it'd be nice to kind of like have more of an outlook of like what past like 2026 and beyond, like where's this team going? So it would be nice to see at least one of them given like, 7 or 8, 10 years. But I also understand, I guess, like why they haven't yet.
Yeah. Makes sense.
What's your question?
Makes sense. Would you rather have like what you currently have now with the Jays? Like you're getting a solid chance at the playoffs, getting a solid chance to go deep in the playoffs every year for several straight years? Or would you rather, excuse me, be like the Royals who won the World Series, but on either back end had just been zero success, barren wasteland of things to look forward to. But you had that one World Series. As a fan, I know banners fly forever, but what's a more enjoyable experience in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, it would. I mean, I think the World Series, like they played in back-to-back. They lost 1 year, but they played in 2, right?
Yeah.
The Jays were really bad. Like we didn't make the playoffs for 22 years. Like they were not good. It sucked. And like, I mean, I don't want to go back to that, but a World Series would be really nice right now.
True. True.
Because we always had like decent players to watch. And then, I mean, everything changed with the Donaldson trade. And then everything sort of went right in 2015 and 16. Like all those guys kind of hit their stride at the same time.
Yeah.
Which if that happens with this team, like there's no limits. Like I still think in the AL East, we have the highest ceiling as far as our offensive potential. But we also have a really low floor, which is kind of what you saw last year.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So like, Justin Turner's like, I think a floor raising move. I think it moves the floor up a little bit. It's obviously not a huge crazy thing, but an experienced guy who can get some runs across the plate in situations where we need it is what we were sorely lacking last year. So
Yeah, maybe he can spark the fire a little bit. He might be able to.
We'll see. I mean, he's got a team that
Hopefully.
still has Bo, Vlad, George Springer, Danny Jansen, like Alejandro Kirk. All these guys are like good players, like big time
Yeah,
potential.
100%.
But we'll
What are
see.
they projected to win? Like 90-ish games?
Yeah, probably in that like 87 to 90 range, I would guess. It's so tough. I feel like projections for the AL East are all over the place. A lot of people think that Baltimore is going to come back and win 100 games again, which I don't know if I'm a believer in that. If you look at like team stats, like the Blue Jays had like overall like better hitting stats. Like if you look at like OPS and stuff like that, I don't have all the exact. Let me bring this up here real quick. There was a lot of hitting categories where as a team we were better than the Orioles last year and we were not great, but the Orioles won 100 games. Like they just like it was just timing, like everything happened at the right time.
Yep, very true. 101 games for the Baltimore Orioles after winning 83 in 2022. They had a negative run differential in 22.
Yeah,
And
like we
a
had
very good positive one. Positive 135 runs in 23.
yeah, like we had a higher OPS. We struck out less than them. We took more walks than them. We had more home runs than them. They beat us in doubles by a little bit, but they scored runs. Like they scored like 60 more runs than we did, right? And
Yeah.
so it's just like I don't know. Like I don't know if maybe just me. I don't know if I think they're as good as everybody else does, but I could be. I also could be wrong. Don't get me wrong. They have a ton of young talent, and Corbin Burns is great.
I think they're good. I think they're good.
Like I don't know, 100 wins good though.
I don't know about 100 wins good, but I feel like 90 wins good. But also, like, I know Kyle Bradish just went down with an injury. So I don't know how long
I'm
he's going to be
almost
out.
surprised they didn't do more this offseason. Like I feel like this is the time where you could really like add a little bit to it.
I think they could have if they had changed ownership sooner.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows what'll happen like at the deadline? See what kind of a start the team gets off to and stuff.
I just wish someone would have spent more money. Like I wish we would have had a better overall offseason instead of one team spending about $1 billion.
Yeah, more than every other team combined.
Yeah, it's just terrible. I mean, granted, you're probably going to have that with whoever team Shohei signs with. It's probably going to be a lot more than any other team. But then they had to sign Yamamoto for that much money. And oh man, when I see that much money for Yamamoto, that's scary. But I mean, that's scary for about any other team, right? Dodgers just have a printing press, pretty much, just counterfeit money, just to shell out, and the Yankees probably. But that's a lot of money. That's a
lot.
large commitment, very large commitment.
Oh, you know what? We'll find out soon if it's going to pay off or not.
Yeah, we will.
You know, in a few months. Well, maybe not soon. I mean, these are kind of long-term contracts, but you know, in 3 months from now, we'll have at least a better idea of like initial reports on like, are these guys kind of worth what they're getting paid or?
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. I'm ready.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. Very excited for it.
Well, my kid is up from his nap now, so I think that is going to be it for me, my friend.
All right, sounds good, man.
Unless you have anything else you want to spew in for the listeners?
Not really. I think I'm good.
Spring training is here. The pants are thin. We're excited for baseball.
But our patience is not wearing thin because baseball's here.
It's here. It's here. Opening day in like a little over a month.
Yeah.
I think.
Don't they start over in somewhere in another country? the 20th or something.
Oh, less than a month then. Oh boy, I get too focused on the Blue Jays that I don't.
It's all right.
Pay attention to
No
like,
worries.
all the rest of the teams. I know whatever. Screw those other 29 teams.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, everybody. As always, thank you for joining us at the dish here with Noob and Tango.
Thanks. Hell yeah.
Us, follow, subscribe, like, YouTube, all the other places.
Apple, Spotify, whatevs.
Right.
All of it.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Yep. Later, everyone. Peace.